microfigures. They may call me danger-prone Daphne, but I have made plenty of valid contributions to this mystery-solving gang. For instance, there was the time that the clown ghost was haunting the circus, and I helped spot him going into the costume tent. And then, when we were at Franken Castle, if I would not have fallen into that pit, we would not have caught the vampire. Hello? And then at the ski lodge with that snow ghost thingy running around, I was the one, okay, that was me who found the jewels in the log. You're welcome. And let's not forget, I was the one who introduced Shaggy Snacks. Increased productivity on the team at least 25%. So there.
Aren't they adorable? These are microfigures of the Mystery Inc. gang with a few villains thrown in, and these are by a company called Character Building. They were released, I believe, like 2013-ish, maybe 2012. I have 4 of them in the set from the gang. From Scooby's gang, I have Daphne and Velma, and then I have a couple villains. And these were blind packed. They're in like a little packet at Toys R Us for, I don't know, just $1 or $2, and you couldn't see what you were getting. You just really took your chance. You just bought one not knowing which character it was going to be, and I did that 4 times, and I was very happy that I got these 2 girls. Now there were quite a few of them all together. I used to have this sheet because this was a sheet that was folded up and in that plastic pack that you would buy at the Toys R Us, but this shows the different ones. Velma and Daphne are actually the only 2 members of the gang that were blind packed in this set. The rest were all villains, and you can see, I don't know how good the resolution is as I'm showing this to you, and then it's disappearing. As I'm showing this to you, like how well you can see it, I hope it's coming through, but you have Red Eye up here, you got Wolfman here, Green Eye, Voodoo Man, Redbeard, Lagoon Creature, Sasquatch, love that one, Blackbeard, Dracula, Frankenstein, Ghost Clown, and Bayou Beast, the 2 that you see here, and Yeti, and Man Crab. And you know, if you're a fan of the original Scooby-Doo series from the late 1960s, that a lot of these are based on actual villains or monsters or ghoulish creatures that you saw in those episodes, like, for instance, Dracula, and I think Blackbeard, that's a reference, or Redbeard is a reference to one. The Yeti, definitely, the episode with the snow creature in it that old Daphne mentioned in the intro had the Yeti in it. So very fun. And then the Ghost Clown also mentioned. The Ghost Clown. Let's take a look at this guy. If you remember the episode that was called Bedlam in the Big Top, and it originally aired November 15th, 1969 on CBS, and there was a ghost clown or a clown ghost, however you want to say it, that was terrorizing the circus. So yeah, we get the nice little ghost clown here, and not an exact reproduction of the appearance of that ghost clown, but definitely a suggestion, shall we say, of that. And you can see these microfigures, they're very, very tiny, but they do have some flexibility and some movement. They even have some parts that will come off. Yeah, like that. Don't worry, it hasn't been broken. And then they've got little hands that can hang on to stuff. See that? He can hang on to something too, like little Legos. And I think Lego has done something similar to these figures by Character Building. So that's the Clown Ghost or Ghost Clown. And then this is called the Bayou Beast. And in the comics, in the Scooby-Doo comics that DC Comics have done, there was a Bayou Beast that this is probably a reference to, but there also was something called a Louisiana Bayou Beast in the first season of the newer TV series called Scooby-Doo Mysteries in the 50 States. That one began airing in 2014, and there was a version of this Bayou Beast. And then Be Cool Scooby-Doo TV series also had a swamp beast. So I think that's what this guy is a reference to. Again, some flexibility with him. And then we have good old Velma. Isn't she adorable? Yeah. Hard to see any other details. Oh! She comes apart at the waist too. She does have joints on, I guess, what you would consider the thigh of the figure, so her legs can move, just a single joint there. She's got arms and hands that would hang on to something here. And does her head move? A little bit, at least on this one. And then her arms can swing. Oh, and she can definitely swivel at the hips, or at the waist, because these figures separate in that place. So, just adorable! All right, well, that's another Scooby episode for you of Terrific TV Toys. So keep tuning in here to BRBTV on this very channel, where we'll continue to show you some great TV toys, great toys celebrating classic TV shows that we love. Thanks for watching. Well, okay, just one more thing I'm going to show you before I sign off. This is a comic book series that I've been reading recently, and I can highly recommend it. It's by DC, and it's called Scooby-Apocalypse. And it really is Scooby-Doo meets The Walking Dead. It's a scenario where there's been a huge apocalyptic event. There's an infection that has spread around the globe, and it has affected almost all humans except for perhaps Scooby and his gang. And so they are out there to try to survive and not get eaten by these mutant monsters that are raging everywhere. And it is so fun because the characters are drawn in such a neat alternative way to how we know them from the classic TV show. And I think actually the most interesting character in this scenario is Velma, because she's dark and nobody trusts her, and she is at the heart of this apocalyptic event. She is a scientist who was working at the research facility where some experimentation went wrong and caused this infection involving nanites. And so she was there. Scooby was one of her test dogs at the facility, so she knew Scooby before. But then everybody else meets up under these circumstances. Fred and Daphne knew each other before. Fred's been madly in love with her for years and proposes to her regularly. And Daphne is a journalist of sorts who's looking for legitimacy in her profession. So those two knew each other, and then they fall in with Velma, and Shaggy comes into the picture and meets his pal for life there, Scooby-Doo, who is very sentient, by the way, can communicate perfectly with humans because of the experimentation that's been done on him. So yeah, there's just such interesting dynamics in this storyline. There's even a mystery machine that's thrown in, but it looks much different than what you know it. And you see the characters have similar appearances, like Daphne's wearing lavender here, but you know, a pair of pants and a shirt, and then her scarf worn differently. And it's just such a neat alternative take. And I've been a fan of both Scooby-Doo and The Walking Dead, so that's why I'm enjoying this. It's at 11 issues now as of press time, so I can recommend it. Head over to your comic book shop and check it out, because it is a fun read. All right, with that, I will bid adieu until next time.